And can you imagine if you are feeling negatively one night, how you feel the next morning when you wake up? If that is extended for a week or a month about someone else, when you see that person, can you imagine if you have a negative feeling about that person, how you feel? How magnified it is? 14 years have gone, and now Keikahi is now ashamed, having made that request that Sri Ram be sent into the forest. And the Lord is showing us, He recognized that emotion she entertained. So He went first to her apartment. Before going to his mother Kaushilya, before greeting his own biological mother, Tulsidas says, he first went and he greeted, he gratified Keikahi Ma. But more than that, he made her feel comfortable that he was not entertaining any justified resentment. If that is the message this morning that the Lord has given to us, I remind you about the message of Christmas. When the Christ child was crucified on the cross, when he was dying or breathing his last breath, his last conscious breath, and that soldier took the spear and stuck it at the side of his breast, his last words were, "Father, forgive them, for they know not what they have done." Father, forgive them, for they know not what they have done. Sarvan Kumar, when he was shot by Dashrath, he recognized also, he says, "O king, I understand that what you have done would have been a mistake, it was an error. O Raja, O king, Aisa hi hu, may you always have peace in your life." And that is the concept of Christmas. That is the concept of one aspect of Christmas that is lived in the life and lived in the quality that is known as forgiving. In Trinidad, we have a saying that goes, "Boy, I will forgive you, but I ain't go forget." And that is a good statement. People say forgive and forget. But I encourage you this morning to forgive and remember. Because when you say forget, that is not possible. You can't forget. But it is important that when someone does you wrong, you remember. And in remembering that wrong, you invoke and you respond with a higher level of energy that is called forgiveness. I want you to consciously forgive other people in your life. Those who would have done you wrong, don't forget, but consciously remember that it is important and why you will be forgiving that other person. And today, as I close my very brief message today, there are two reasons why you should forgive. There are two reasons why we should practice forgiveness towards other people in our life. And these are, first, it is to first tell the other person that you forgive them. Whether you speak the words, "Bhaiya, I forgive you," or not, or you internalize the concept of forgiving another person, the first benefit of forgiveness, it is to say to that other person, to signal to that other person that I am no longer at war with you. I am no longer entertaining differences with you. And that's the first value of telling someone that I have forgiven you. You are waving the white flag that says no more war. That's the first benefit of forgiving. But in my estimation this morning, there is a more powerful part of forgiving. And that is, when you forgive, you are freeing your own self, you are freeing your own mind of all negative and debilitating energy. When you forgive another person, they may benefit by hearing your words that you forgive them, but the person who benefits the most, it is yourself, in freeing your mind and your internal energies of all negative ones. I remember growing up as a young boy, in my teenage years going into my early 20s, someone had done me wrong. In my mind, I thought they had done me wrong while I was living in New York. It was someone who was close to me, family members who I thought had my best interest at heart. And they would have caused certain pains. They would have insulted my love or my interpretation of love. in their relationship with me. And for many years after that experience, I carried with me hurt, I carried pain, I carried resentment, and I thought, no matter how much I spoke well with them when I saw them, deep in my heart, I carried that pain and resentment. And the only time that I really was able to free myself and entertain a better relationship with that person was when I, in my quiet moments, I sat with my Lord and I had a conversation and I spoke in these words, and I called the person's name and I said, all these years I carried this pain, and I really think, and I still do think, that you did me wrong, but today from my heart I release you. Today from my heart I forgive you. I didn't say it to the other person, but I said it to myself in my conversation with my Maker, and I had release internally. And the next time I saw that person, it was amazing. The conversation outwardly seemed the same, but internally I had freed myself of carrying those negativities within my life. And when you forgive someone else, the second and most beneficial part of forgiving, it is that which happens inside of you. You see, when you forgive, the person who benefits the most, it is not the forgiver, or rather, it is not the forgiven, it is that person who does the forgiving. The person that is forgiven does not benefit the most, but the greater blessing in forgiving someone else, it is that who does the forgiving. This morning, as I conclude my message, I remind you that human beings are exactly that. Human, flesh, and are susceptible to making errors. And I remind you this morning that when people you love especially say things to you or do things in a particular way that causes hurt, remember this, that people behave in a way that they know best. People, we need to give them the benefit of the doubt that there are no bad people inherently in this world, but especially those who love us and are close to us, we need to give them the benefit of the doubt that they are operating in a way that they know best. For if they had known better, they would have done differently. If they would have known better, they would have done differently. And my message in closing this morning, it is that we tend to identify others on the basis of what we can see. We tend to identify and relate to others on the basis of what we can see and what we can see with the eye. But instead, we are encouraged to relate and entertain the relationships in our life, not with what we can see with the eye, but what we can feel with the heart. And if we can release the negative energies that vibrate within our internals, then forgiveness, the message of Christmas, the sacrifice of the Christ child, the example that was set by Sri Ram, would be ours to enjoy. Christmas will no longer be on the 25th of December, but the living of the value of forgiveness will be ours to enjoy and entertain and emulate in every single day of our lives as we touch those that we interact with. Let that be your message this Christmas, one of care, one of forgiveness, one of bringing joy even to those who bring pain to us. Prem se bolo Siyavana Ramachandra ki